We've made it to part 2, the wow moment and 5 other Serhant secrets that will arm you for success. Up first is Serhant secret number 1, which is the box. Anytime myself or anyone on my team meets somebody who's shown interest, either to be a seller or to be a buyer, we send them the box. And the box is exactly what it sounds like. It is a box that looks like so. And this is actually it. It says the Serhant team down here. It's a little black box that is shaped like a book, because inside, that's exactly what's in there. There's a book that is my listing pitch book. And the listing pitch book is a nice glossy book that says we know real property, because I think that sounds cool. It says Serhant team all over it. And inside is everything I want them to know. It's my bio, it's my team's bio, it's listings that we have, it's listings that we've sold, it's people we work with, it's testimonials, it's where we advertise, it's where we market, it's things that we do better than everybody else, it's our rankings, it's press, it's literally everything that I would want to put into a listing proposal, but I made it into a nice glossy book. And this book is literally my first impression. So whether it's a buyer or a seller, the day before I meet them, they get this nice, pretty book and box at their front door or with the doorman, because we're in New York City, and they see that and they say, wow, a real estate broker sent me a present. That is so crazy. I wonder what they sent me. I wonder if it's chocolate. And then they open it and they're super disappointed. It's not chocolate. It's not jewelry. It happens to be a book that's all about me, but that's okay, because inside, what it shows is that I am incredibly professional. I'm very detail oriented and I am on top of my game. So much so that the pitch that I'm going to give you started a day before I ever even got there. No one else does that except you are gonna start doing that now. Now listen, you don't need to spend all this money and make a glossy book with a fancy box. One day you can and you should, but what I want you to think about is your first impression, because it goes a long way. Especially your first impression before you ever even get to the door of the client that you're gonna meet with. Think about something that represents you. What is that? Maybe you're really into ballpoint pens, and maybe you have a pen and you send a handwritten note with a pen that has your branding on it as your first impression. That would be pretty cool. That would go a long way. Or maybe you're amazing at baking cookies. Maybe you could bake cookies in the shape of houses, and you could send a cookie that's shaped like the house of the client you're gonna go meet with a nice little handwritten notes, because I love handwritten notes, and you send that up a day before with a little note that says, here's a little sweet treat for you to have before you meet me and we have our sweet conversation about your home. And what it really does is it gives me something to talk about the minute I meet that client. Because I can say, did you get my book and box? Did you read through the book? What'd you think? And a lot of times, they haven't even read it because it's pretty long. But they've thumbed through it and they were impressed by it. And more often than not, they say, I got it, haven't had a second to go through it, but that was pretty cool because I talked to you 10 minutes before and apparently you rushed over and dropped that off, and shows motivation, shows initiative, shows that I actually care, so much so that, like I said, my pitch starts a day before I even show up. And that goes a long way. And so I want to help you figure out what your first impression is going to be as well. So there's a worksheet attached to this video, and we're going to work on that together. Because without fail, my book and box makes a strong first impression that is a huge part of why I think I've been so successful. So your book and box, whatever it will be, will too.